Grizzly. At Grizzly, we believe charging your electric vehicle should be simple, reliable, and affordable. That's why we design, engineer, and build our chargers in Canada, ensuring top-tier quality and performance. Powered by United Chargers, every Grizzly model is crafted in-house, built to withstand extreme conditions, and tested for reliability. Recognized by leading publications for its performance and value, Grizzly delivers both durability and intelligence with heavy-duty aluminum enclosures, premium output cables, and smart charging features like scheduling, usage tracking, and OCPP compatibility with multiple charging apps. Grizzly. Simple, reliable, affordable, built for every climate, every EV, everywhere you go. Visit grizzly.com to learn more.
On today's show, we'll be talking about the EVs of the IAA Munich Auto Show, including Mercedes GLC EV and Polestar 5, what it's like to drive a Lucid Sapphire at 200 miles an hour, and how much heavy EVs hurt roads. And of course, much, much more. Hello, and welcome to the Batteries Included podcast. It's Friday, September the 12th, 2025, and this is episode number 105. I'm your host, Dominic Yoni. Today, longtime EV journalist and host of the YouTube channel Drive Electric with Dominic. Joining us is the incorruptible Mr. Tom Moloughney, a senior editor at Inside EVs and host of the YouTube channel State of Charge. What, you are corruptible? You're making some faces.
I usually agree with the adjectives that you throw at my way, but
Incorruptible. That's like, of course.
I can be corrupted. Depends on what type of corruption we're talking about. But
all right. All right. So we also have Kyle Connor joining us from the majestic, practically palatial halls of Autospec Studios. And Martin will be off this week due to parental responsibilities, but we do hope to have him back again next week. And Kyle, as you can probably see, is not here at the moment. I just got a text. He forgot it was Friday. It's okay, because this man has been, he was in Europe. He was Europe. And I call him up. He's in Las Vegas, and I was, oh, okay. And then today, I guess he might be in California, I think today. So, I can see why he doesn't know what day of the week it is, which is it's all good. But it is Friday, right, Tom?
It is Friday.
Okay.
We're both here. We've got a bunch of people in the comment stream, so we must be the right day, so we can handle that.
Before we jump in, Tom, you shared a photo in our group chat yesterday, and I think we need to share it.
Yeah.
So I kind of want to wait for Kyle for this, because Kyle loves airplanes, like flying. Like he's like a nerd about EVs and things.
Yeah.
He is really into flying too.
Yeah. So yesterday, actually on Wednesday, I went up to Toronto to shoot a video on the Grizzly Club. That's you guys know our sponsor, United Chargers. They started the Grizzly Club, where it's really a great program. Learn, I'll give you all the details when my video's out. But basically, if you live in Canada, you can get a charger from United Chargers for free, and then earn 3 cents back for every kilowatt hour that you charge. It's a great program, and I wanted to make a dedicated video on it. So we planned that I was going up to see Gleb and United Chargers. And he said, if you would like, I'll get you in touch with one of our customers that joined the club, and you can interview him and see if he's happy with it, if it's, everything that I'm saying it is. And I said, that'd be awesome. So he actually reached out to the first person that joined the club, lives up in Ottawa. And that would be like 250 miles northeast of where Gleb's warehouse is. And that just wouldn't work driving there, and even for me I could have taken a commercial flight from Toronto up to Ottawa and then back, but like it would have been a super long day. But Gleb was like, I have a plane. I'm a pilot. I have my pilot's license. We could just hop in my plane and fly up to Ottawa and the airport's only 20 minutes from his house. So I said, okay, we'll do that. So that's what we did yesterday, and we had a nice. It was took a little bit more than an hour flight to go around 250, 260 miles, I think. And but I mean, obviously, it would have taken a lot longer. It would have even taken me longer if I did commercial. The flight would have been quicker, but just going to the airport and all that stuff. So it actually worked out really well. So I'm going to put together a comprehensive video on this new Grizzly Club, where you get a charger for free and you actually get paid back to use your to charge your EV. And you don't have to charge during certain times, or the utility doesn't have control of your charger. You charge whenever you want, and you earn 3 cents back per kilowatt hour. And the interesting thing that I found was up in Ottawa, where this person lives. He has super time of use plans overnight. He only pays 2.8 cents per kilowatt hour to charge his car. So he's paying 2.8 cents per kilowatt hour, and Gleb's paying him 3 cents per kilowatt hour. So he's making money every time he charges his car. So I thought that was pretty interesting. But yeah, I'll have the full video out on it. It was a fun day, and Gleb was a good host, and we survived. So that was a good thing.
Right. Yeah. Your message to us yesterday after if you make it back, you'll be here or something like, yeah, which, so I'm glad you managed to land all that stuff. And there's going to be a video coming out too. You're going to have a little video on this?
Or well, not so much on the flight, but I'll have
a
video on my trip up there. I interviewed Gleb. He talks a lot about the interesting thing about Gleb, and part of the reason why he did the Grizzly Club was he envisions having tens of thousands of subscribers to the Grizzly Club. And when he looks at me, he goes, and why not? If you live in Canada and you have an EV, why would you not do this? I'm giving you the charger and I'm paying you to charge your car. Nobody else is doing that, So, and it makes sense, and he envisions, not long in having tens of thousands of chargers. And what he really wants to have is sort of like political clout with that. Kind of like, being able to go to politicians and local lawmakers and so forth and say, look, I've got 30,000 people in this Grizzly Club, and we're not happy that you're not expanding carbon credits, or that you're not installing public charging infrastructure or so forth. You know what I mean? He actually is looking to actually make this sort of like a tool to help electric vehicle adoption in Canada, and have like almost like a big voting base of electric vehicle owners. Now, of course, everybody's not going to agree with everything, but I like the direction he's going in with this, where he's really trying to affect change in Canada and help the whole country become more EV friendly.
There's a whole bunch of these programs, more in Europe and the UK, where they have actually where they're sending actually power to the grid as well, and there's a few things going on there, like with Volkswagen and BMW. BMW has like their I think we talked about it here, down here earlier. Oh yeah, so yeah, the BMW iX3 is like it's the first one, I think, with bidirectional charging.
Yeah.
So you can plug it into the BMW Wallbox Professional, and then they're in partnership with E.ON, which is the big energy company over there, electricity provider. And they say drivers will be able to earn like 720 euros a year by selling electricity back, and then also they buy it back when it's cheap.
Yeah. Well, I think Gleb has eyes on that down the road also. Right now, that's not how it works, but he's certainly building relationships with the utilities now to lay that groundwork. And the generation of Grizzly chargers they're selling now, the Ultimate 48, the Mini, the Ultimate 80, they will be bidirectional capable. So he's laying that groundwork. And also, BMW, this isn't the first time they've done this, Dom. They had these programs, pilot programs, back when I had my Active E. When I was in the Active E program, you could sign up if you lived in California. The Active E was capable of bidirectional. power flow with the utilities, and they had a whole bunch of people sign up in California. A matter of fact, when they launched this program, not a lot of people signed up because I don't think people understood what it was that were in the Active E program. And they reached out to me. They said, hey, you've got a good relationship with all these people in the program. I had the groups, the Facebook groups and everything. They said, could you help us spread the word? This is what the program's about. So I posted in all my groups like, hey, if you want to do this, I might have even written an article on Inside EVs. This is a great thing to do. You could be part of the future, help them work. And like within a week, they had too many people sign up for the program because like everyone was like, yeah, it sounds like a great idea. It was just a matter of they weren't able to communicate it properly to everybody on exactly what the program was all about. But that's where we're going. I mean, at some point down the road, the electric vehicles, everybody's going to have vehicle to grid and bidirectional power flow. And, it's part of the reason why I was always high on electric vehicles dating back 15 years ago, because I always thought that your vehicle could be kind of a centerpiece of your home's ecosystem, electric ecosystem. I mean, you've got this huge battery pack that can power your house for days if you needed it to. Whereas we didn't have anything like that before, like in 2012, 2013, and now we have it. So
right. So Octopus is one of those companies over there, energy company over there in Europe as well, does a similar kind of thing. Pete Glass just shares with us, if you sign up to Intelligent Octopus UK tariff, you get cheap overnight hours, plus whenever Octopus adds extra cheap hours and turns on your EV, all domestic use gets the extra hours. Yep. Yeah, I mean, basically.
We're going to see programs like that, Pete, all over. I don't know when it's going to. I've been saying that for 12 years. They're not all over yet, but I know a lot of the utilities are working on programs like this.
Right. And it's like, so a lot of people, as everyone in the audience is familiar, used to say, or would hear people say, well, what about the grid? All these electric vehicles are going to crash the grid. But now, if we can use them to send the energy back and forth, they actually save the grid and help stabilize it and add energy, so you can not turn on like peaker plants, and so it saves the utilities a lot of money. So it turns out maybe EVs are kind of like helping the grid, especially with all the renewable energy coming online. And
Dom, I've had people that work in the utilities that are in charge of like adding capacity or planning future plants and so forth, tell me that we see everybody online screaming that electric vehicles are going to crash the grid, and it's the opposite. We the utilities view them as something that will help us stabilize the grid, not crash it, as long as we intelligently integrate electric vehicles into our ecosystem. That they love the idea that they have terawatts of stationary energy storage all over the place. They never had that before. It's just a matter of, okay, how do we rein all that in? How do we present it to customers in a way that they'll accept it? Because nobody wants to have their utility control their car and when they get to charge and when they get to use their energy. And of course, you'll be able to opt in and opt out. You won't have to charge your car during a certain hours, but if you do, you'll maybe pay half. And if you let the utility actually draw energy out of your battery, you might get paid 5 times what you paid to have it pumped in. So, if you're working from home and your car's sitting in your garage all day, why not let them do that?
Right. So June C brings up something that a lot of people would have as a concern, and she asked, or he asked, I don't know if they have a nice old truck in their avatar there, but anyway, they ask, does that wear out the battery faster?
So if every day, you were pulling 30 kilowatt hour out, pumping 31, if it was literally being used that way, sure, there would be some, long-term, accelerated capacity loss, but that's not what they're talking about. They're talking about, slim use cases where maybe once a month the grid is under stress and it needs to actually pull some energy out of a certain amount of vehicles in the area. And that's when they do it. So that would be like me telling you, well, will it wear the battery out more if you drive an extra 200 miles every year?
Right.
You know, it's an insignificant amount of extra wear and tear.
Right. Hey, real quick, you shared an email that you got this morning. So this is kind of breaking news, I think. I don't know. I hadn't seen this reported anywhere.
Oh, I sent it to you. I forgot about that.
Yeah, I had to actually. But so we have a little bit of time since we're waiting for Kyle. You got this email. You're part of the Ram Rev Insider Plus program, and
Yeah,
apparently,
I paid Ram, I don't know, what was it, like $500 or something for it, like, and it wasn't really a deposit. It was so I could be on the insider program and get first dibs on ordering a truck. It was really a BS scam, if you ask me. It was like I was
do you
not
get that
happy with
back if
how
you buy a truck?
Stellantis
You
ran
can get
this.
that back, right?
I don't think so. I think it was like paying for membership in this insider program. I could be wrong. Maybe someone in the comment section knows exactly how it was worded, but it wasn't like a straight out reservation like the other companies
Right.
do. It was
And
like, oh,
you've made plenty of reservations before, so you know how those
exactly.
things go.
And I've
Yeah.
always got my money back, even from Aptera. I got my money back, or you know, from
Even
no, not Aptera. I forget who was the other one to go. Canoe. I even got my money
All
back
right,
from Canoe.
right, yeah.
But this was different. This was like join our club for $200 or $500, and then you'll get all insider information, and then you'll be first in line to order the Ram, BEV truck. Because I was interested personally in the fully electric one, not the Ram Charger. But anyway, go ahead.
Right.
I sent you
So
this. I got this email this morning.
basically, they say in response to customer feedback and rapidly slowing industry demand for full-size BEV pickups, the brand is discontinuing development of the battery electric Ram 1500, formerly known as the Ram 15 Rev. We are also changing the name of our future Ram truck, formerly the Ram 1500 Ram Charger, to Ram 1500 Rev. So basically, what they're saying is the Ram 1500 Rev is dead. Long live the Ram 1500 Rev. But instead of a battery electric, it's going to be the plug-in or the battery extended version of the truck that they're building. So,
Yeah,
which
which I think
I don't
we
know.
all expected, Dom, at this point. You know.
I don't. Well, I didn't know what to expect really, but I can't blame them. Looking across town at Ford and seeing demand for the Ford F-150 Lightning is not, what they might have expected or not what Ford expected, and they can't start up a battery electric truck program with sales that low and not. They just don't want to lose money, and now they don't have to because they dropped the EPA's CAFE regulations, so
Yep.
there's no pollution standards anymore, basically, right?
Yep. So
Regulations, so there's no.
oops. Yeah,
That's okay.
no, exactly. This isn't a surprise. We haven't heard them talk about the fully electric,
Right.
Ram in a long time. So I think everybody speculated that it was, oh, you got a refund on your hundreds. Okay, I didn't even realize you could, Mike. Thanks. I thought you paid for like being in their club. I thought that was like a non-refundable deposit, but I'll look into that because
Yeah.
I'll ask for mine back too at this point because
Mike,
I
Mike
really
the car. I was just going to tell
yeah
the audience that's listening and not watching the thing that Mike the Car Geek just commented. Car Geek, not Greek. He may be Greek. I don't know. But anyway, I got a refund on my $100 deposit last month. Stellantis is slow walking into the EV future.
yeah
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I'll definitely ask for it back now because I really have no interest in the Ram Charger. I know that was what more people would have interest in. I
Oh
believed
yeah.
at least, but for me, it really my Lightning's 300-mile range is more than enough that I need. So I certainly don't need something even more than that. Yeah, this is interesting that they officially killed it today. They
Right.
sent out this, and then they changed the Ram Charger to the Ram Rev. So
Right.
they made
So
sure that
one
there was even the nomenclature didn't say anything about charging.
Right. So I don't know. I like the idea of using Ram Charger because it's a
So do
historical
I.
vehicle. I knew a family who had one, and I thought it was like the coolest thing. Um,
and it's
But
appropriate.
yeah, right.
You know,
Oh
it
yeah.
really
Oh
fits
yeah.
this vehicle.
Oh yeah.
So, you
Especially
know,
the extended range version. That's like, yeah, perfect. So
yeah.
Carrie M asks, when was Ram Charger supposed to launch? Do you remember?
Oh
Was it?
God, I
I
have
think it
no
was
idea.
this winter or early next spring, sometime not too long from now.
Yeah.
But and who
If
knows?
not
You know,
already, when it originally came out, like it was 2025 or 2026, I guess. Yeah.
right. But at this point, I think they just need to make sure when they do put it out that it works really, really well because you know Dodge like Stellantis is not having great success with the electrics that they've released already, like the Dodge Charger or the Jeep Wagoneer S. Is that what it is? I don't know. The Jeep has a big SUV, electric
Yeah.
SUV. I should know the name of it, but
Yeah. No,
okay.
their electric program is not, at least here in the US. Stellantis seems to have decent products over in Europe, but the products that they're bringing over here that are electric have not gotten good reviews, let's say.
Right. So speaking of real quick, before I wanted to maybe talk about your weight video, EV weight video real quick, but I thought while we're talking about pickup trucks, we should mention that Ford
Yeah.
has revived the STX name this week and is bringing this is an interesting development in the electric pickup truck market. So 2026 Ford F-150 Lightning STX, more range without a price increase. So basically what's going on here is it's the same Ford F-150 Lightning but with a few add-ons like this. So originally this is replacing the XLT trim.
Mhm.
Originally, the XLT, you could get one with a 98 kilowatt hour battery with a 240-mile range, it's kind of lowish kind of range. But now becomes, so that's gone away and it's replaced by the STX, which gets the bigger 123 kilowatt hour battery with 290 miles of range. Gets standard rear e-locking differential, all-terrain wheels, a heated steering wheel, and off-road running boards. And those are from the trimmer program, I believe, those running boards. And the best part is that it starts at $65,540, including destination, which is the same as the XLT, but with a smaller battery. So
Bigger
it
battery.
looks to me like Ford is kind of finally finding its way with this thing. And man, I hope I hope it works out for them because it's, you own one, so it's a great truck. I
Absolutely.
I have in my garage a Ford STX, but it is not. This one is the one from 1988 when they first started the STX trim name, and back then it was like it's the sport version of their four-wheel drive, and
Mhm.
then yeah, it's come back a bunch or twice since then as more like just like a trim package, like letters and graphics and
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
I think this one has nicer seats too, if I remember.
They
Let me
look
see.
nice, yeah. They're stitched. It says, STX Lightning stitched in them in I think blue. But I think it's nice, and it's good that Ford's offering, say, a better deal at the lower end of the Lightning price point, because to
Mhm.
me, that's really what has held the Lightning back more than anything is the cost.
Yeah.
It's a great truck, and almost everybody that has them loves them. You look at the people online, and this has you mentioned the 123 kilowatt hour battery pack, and that's a new pack. It came out last year. The extended range battery pack that I have is 131 kilowatt hour usable, like 146-ish total. And then the other battery pack, the standard, was 98 kilowatt hour usable. Last year, Ford introduced this kind of in the middle. Well, not in the middle. It's close to the extended range. It's only like 8 kilowatt hour less than the full extended range pack. But they introduced this slightly smaller extended range pack for the flash trim. I think
Right.
they were just trying to figure out a way to get that flash's price down a little bit. So like, we'll give it the extended range, but we'll make it a little bit smaller and save some money on that. And that's what they're putting in this. So it's got nearly a 300-mile EPA range rating, which is really a huge difference than the 240-mile that the standard range pack has. It makes the vehicle a lot more usable. And
Yeah.
the Lightning is still, while it didn't sell what in the volumes that Ford predicted, which we've beaten that to death, it's still selling pretty well, Tom. It's still the number one selling electric truck. And that's remarkable when you consider that everybody would have thought the Cybertruck was going to, once the Cybertruck came out, it was going to be the #1 selling electric truck. The Lightning is still sold the most, and
Right.
is having good monthly sales. Now it's going to be interesting to see what happens now after the tax credit goes away this month, but it's still selling pretty well.
Yeah. Oh, Kyle is here. We'll add him to the stage, and then we'll say goodbye to STX. Stop screen. Boom.
Mr. Connor.
Good morning.
morning.
I have to apologize. I totally forgot it was Friday, and I was asleep when y'all started the show.
That's great. I feel like I couldn't sleep last night. I slept in an extra half hour, so I'm still like kind of like not all here. But speaking of all here, where are you? A construction
Yes.
site.
Well, that's kind of also what confused me a little bit. I thought I would be up so early yesterday when we talked about doing the show today, because I've been in Europe the last few days. And so typically I wake up super early, and I'm on the West Coast. So I'm like, oh, I'll be up at like 3 a.m. But no, I was slept in apparently, and missed calls from Dominic. So I really, really do apologize. I hate that happened. I'm in California at the moment at Joshua Tree National Park, basically.
Okay. It looks like you're in a construction site, but maybe not.
Yeah, that's our hotel. It is.
Is it
Everything's
maybe
a
a tiki
shipping
roof?
container. You live in
Oh,
shipping
okay.
containers. It's really, it's an interesting approach.
Okay. Interesting that you say it's interesting.
I mean, I like the idea of a tiny
you
home.
enjoying
I
it?
think it's cool.
Is it working?
Yeah. I mean, just got here super late and then passed
Right.
out. So, yeah, there's a Rivian event here this week, which is where we are.
Right. Do you want? Well, I guess we might as well just tell people about that real quick. What Rivian referral? What was it? Rivian referral retreat?
Yeah, I think that's what it's called. It's like for their top referrers from their referral program. We all got invited to the desert, and we're going to eat a lot of granola and I don't know, do some campfires and sing Kumbaya and praise RJ. And I'm not sure what else we're going to do, but it should be really an
Did
interesting
they give you your
experience.
open-toed sandals to wear for the day?
Right. That's what we need.
At least you're not wearing robes or anything, so that's good.
Well, at least not
too
yet.
Not too culty.
There are some in the room. I don't know what those are for. So, but no, I think it'll be cool. I think in general, like the crowd here is super, super awesome. I think I know most everyone who's coming, and just real enthusiasts. The crowd of Rivian owners at the moment, still hardcore enthusiast people. They're great.
Right on. All right, so let's kick it off talking about the IAA Munich Auto Show, but it's officially called the IAA Mobility 2025, I think. But anyway, so last week we talked about the BMW iX3, the first of the Neue Class cars, and we also talked about the Audi C concept. This week we're going to talk about some other big EV debuts like the Mercedes GLC EV and the Polestar 5, but I wanted to hear what Kyle thought about these other two, since he was there in person with William, who's from Norway and works with Out of Spec, and Scott, who helps run Out of Spec in the US. And I believe you also hung out with the electric duo, Patrick and Liv. And I don't see them in the comments yet this morning, but they're often with us. But yeah, so that's pretty wild. You get to hang out, go to Europe and hang out with friends. So Kyle, your video with William featuring the BMW iX3 is live now. So what did you think about that in person?
Yeah, I mean, the iX3 really was the star of the show this year at IAA, or IAA, as the Germans say. It was really fun. The whole show, first of all, it was a great experience. So I've been to IAA for the last 4 or 5 years. I think we skipped last year, but before that we had been a bunch, and it's always been okay, but never like a major show for coverage from our side. This year was totally different. So many debuts, so many electric things. Volkswagen had their stuff going. We shot videos on that. BMW stole the show with the iX3. Of course, no need to be reminded, I actually got to meet Bjorn, Bjorn Nyland from Norway. So that was really a great experience. To be able to see Bjorn, and we did a little video together for his channel, and that's on there already. That was really fun. And yeah, saw my buddy Chris Rifa as well from Norway. I mean, we had so many people. We got a bunch of people together for dinner the first night, and we were at a beer garden. We just kept adding tables and adding tables. So we had a whole like area together of just media, press people, car makers, engineers. It was really fun. We just piled up half this beer garden. It was really a good time. So we had a great experience this trip. And yeah, back to the show. I mean, the general consensus of the show after leaving is iX3 versus GLC. Those are the big heavy hitters of the show. And the GLC electric, of course, is a direct competitor to the iX3. So BMW went first with their reveal a couple days ahead of Mercedes and just wiped the floor of anything imaginable. This is a mid-size electric SUV. Think Tesla Model Y-ish, maybe interior size, very comparable. The overall length, I'm not sure how it compares, but in that category, plus or minus. And it's a 108.7 kilowatt hour usable battery. Massive ass battery. That is ginormous, which should lead to around or over 400 miles of EPA rated range. Mm-hmm. Then you put in 400 kilowatt charging with what they claim is a juicy curve and a really completely new electrical architecture with zonal ECUs, structural battery pack, 4695 cells that each have their own cooling channel. And you go, holy smokes, who hurt BMW? Because they came out swinging, which is awesome because this will underpin the next 40 electric BMWs by like 2027 or 2028. It's just going to be launch after launch after launch after launch. And they are going to absolutely wipe the floor with this platform for the next few years. Now, I got to meet with a lot of the engineers on this program as well before we shot this video. And I asked them, I'm like, hey, right now this is competitive. This is impressive. In the typical BMW chassis cycle is 7 to 12 years. It's not going to be impressive in 7 or 12 years. Is there headroom in what you're building? And they're like, absolutely. We can source different batteries, source different charging situations, software improvements, over-the-air software improvements because they have 4 zonal ECUs, very similar to Rivian's approach. Mm-hmm. And so I really think this is it. This is really cool. This is totally the vehicle to buy in this category, especially in.
You froze up there for a second. Especially which?
Especially in Europe.
Oh, right. But it is coming here, right?
Yeah, of course, definitely coming here will be huge, and
$60,000.
That's the thing too. I forgot to mention the price. It's going to be around $60,000 for the dual motor long range version, which is big battery, fast charging, all wheel drive with all the performance base. Now it's probably going to be 70 for the one you want, but still 70 grand for all that. Awesome.
Yeah. And Kyle, you mentioned about the comparison to Model Y. I just looked it up. They're within a half an inch in length, and the Y is like, I think, 3/4 of an inch wider. So it's basically the same size as a Model Y.
For all
I would say.
How did the interior feel, though? Like, did it feel as spacious as a Y? Because a Y feels tremendously spacious for its size.
So the interior was more than adequate. We were all really impressed with the size and space. I would say Model Y has more capacity to put stuff in. I think it's clear that, the long hood on this and maybe some of the extra sound deadening that goes in, I don't know, just it doesn't feel as open or as spacious as a Y. Here's the thing, though. The interior is a really nice place to be in this. All the materials are wonderful. And I'm sure we're in a top spec model, so who knows what the base model will be like. But William and I were both like, wow, this is an X3 and it's this nice. So I mean, there's things you can put them side by side. The Model Y is going to be a much better price point and a much sort of a tier level in terms of luxury. Lower in the US, Model Y has way better driver assistance. Tesla still has the FSD advantage, which for some people is or make a break. For other people, they don't care. We do know BMW has some of the best highway driver assistance, though. But for highway use, theirs is really good. And the BMW, man, the software was pretty good. The screen looks terrible, but in the driver's seat worked perfectly.
Okay. You don't like the
Yeah.
not square look of the screen?
No.
I kind of love it, but
Oh, okay. It
maybe
works
it'd be
great in
annoying if
person.
I. Okay.
Well, that's most important is how it works. You know, you'll get
Yeah,
over
and
how it looks pretty quickly.
totally, because the steering wheel perfectly from the driver's seat fills that notch space. So you see no dead air like you do from this angle.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
it basically makes no difference if it was notched or square. Yeah, they came out swinging. They got this thing nailed. Like little nitpicks here and there, just like with any car, but it's really amazing, truly
Yeah.
amazing.
In your
But I
in
can't
your
wait to drive it.
in your video, you show a round steering wheel. Are you saying that you wish it had that, or it's just that that's what the traditional BMW wheel was?
Yeah, I'm saying that's a better wheel that they used to do than whatever's
Right.
going
Right.
on
Yeah.
with this.
Right. I
Yeah.
do like
I
that
think
little
it looks
strip
great.
at the bottom of the windshield, all that information across the front of the screen there. That's great.
Yeah, so that's part of their like vision panoramic thing. I got to
Right.
experience that back in October. There was a little preview event for this operating system. I still think the operating system's a little not super intuitive,
Okay.
but
Sure.
very powerful. Lots of features in there. Should have good route planning, all that stuff. I'm not
That's too,
sold on that vision panoramic. Some of the Chinese are doing it too. I sat in the Xiaomi U7, had the same thing,
right.
and I think it's a bit awkward.
Oh, really? Okay. Does it interfere at like at night? Oh, you don't know. You probably haven't driven it with it yet. But at nighttime,
No.
you'd have a bit of illumination there in your field of vision.
Yeah, the thing is, it fills up the space directly where the top of the hood sits and the top of the dash sits. So there's normally
Right.
just a tiny bit of blank space. It fills that up. But from my seating position, it goes a bit over where the top of the hood would be. So it almost feels like it's blocking this tiniest sliver of view out the front. But then, of course, I'm
True.
like, I want to see everything. So
Right.
I'm sure I would get used to it with time. It's very customizable. You can put a bunch of different stuff up there. Honestly, this car, it's not even worth faulting anything on it because BMW went so hard on the upgrades that
Yeah.
I don't think any of us expected it to be this good.
Yeah. Looks great. I mean, it's a serious contender for us for sure. I tell you, Meredith still misses the i3. Just how it drove that road feel, the small, tossable. I know this is going to be bigger than that. It won't feel like that, but she still misses driving the i3, and this could be like halfway there. So, this could be in the driveway. Just got
Oh,
to
really?
decide what will be the casualty. It won't be the Lightning, I'll tell you that. So we'll see.
Right. So, oh, right. So before we get into, I want to talk about the GLC, of course, but you also saw the Audi Concept C in person. We don't need to spend any time on that, really. But I did want to get your impressions because, like, it's a pretty, I would say, polarizing design for a lot of people. That it's kind of it reminds a lot of people of the new, like the Jaguar. I can't remember the name of it, but people have been slamming the Jaguar concept thing forever. But this has a similar kind of front end, but I don't know. In person, what do you think?
Love it. Absolutely love it. This is how cars should look from Audi. The thing with Audi is they don't have a design problem per se. They have a company direction problem. They're
Mm,
taking platforms from across the group with no clear expertise in anything other than headlights that it's going into their main product line. So Audi, which is supposed to be the technology leader within Volkswagen Group, has no different driver assistance, no different charging, no different software architecture than the rest of the group. And the fact that
right.
the Volkswagen and Rivian joint venture software perspective is launching with a base Volkswagen ID Everyone, and not with the technical brand, the Audi brand, also speaks further to them not actually being the technical leader inside of Volkswagen Group. So if Audi is no longer pioneering tech, what are they doing? Making concept cars from a design perspective. They've never been the design brand. That's not what they're known for. So
Right.
it's just to me a little bit of a lost direction for what they've been doing. They've been going down this meandering path. And it was so funny. As I was leaving Germany, I went through the airport and I posted this picture, and I can see if I can pull it up on my phone here. But it was an advertisement in the Munich airport for Audi. And it's, they have their big Audi training center there at the airport. And I should have the photo right here. And it basically says Audi, strive for clarity.
Let me see if I
That's
can make
their
it bigger.
advertisement.
Solo layout. There we
There
go.
we go. Strive for clarity, Audi.
Right.
Yes, we need you to be more clear about what the heck you're doing with your company. It's like, yeah, don't put it on a billboard, internalize it, and then communicate the plan for the brand.
Right. But regardless, you like this design at least? And
Right. I think the design of the concept is really nice. No complaints there. But again, it's just a
right.
concept design. TT
Well,
vibes. I like the new Jag concept thing, whatever. I thought it looked great.
right. You saw that in person as well, right?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
It looks amazing in person from my perspective.
Right. Yeah. And I think this looks really good too. But this is like 90% done. This is like a 90% of the final design, which
Yeah,
I don't,
that's how
I,
Volkswagen's doing their concepts these days.
I really hope they keep those louvers in the back window, and it's I guess they'll use a camera for the back window, whatever, which like Polestar is doing. Yeah, I really like this thing actually. It took me a second to kind of figure out what's going on with the front end, but then yeah, I think in person it's like you say, I didn't see it in person, but I feel like it would be really great in person, if that makes any sense.
No one really talked about it during the show, to be honest.
During oops, let me see if I get this straightened out here. Miss Martin. Yeah, it didn't really. Well, once the BMW iX3, debuted, that's what people talked about. I think for the most part, I think
Absolutely.
the Audi design had the conversation for like a good day maybe, but then it was all over.
I mean, what was still interesting was there was a line of people to go see it, even on the second day of the event. It was pouring rain, and people were waiting in the rain to go into the studio to go see the car.
Yeah.
Nice, right on. So the big view since then is this Mercedes GLC EV, or what do they call it? The GLC with EQ technology. You can see it here. So this is Mercedes kind of going back to a traditional kind of styling vibe. It's going to be sold alongside the gas GLC, but it's actually 6 inches longer than the gas one, and I think the what you call the wheelbase is 3.3 inches longer than the gas one, so a little bit more room inside in this one. Mercedes talks a lot about how it's a normal looking car and makes a big deal about its new grille, which it describes that as a wide chromed frame, smoked glass look, mesh structure, and integrated contour lighting. And it also comes in an optional illuminated version featuring 942 polycarbonate backlit dots that can be animated, which, I mean, yeah, opinions are mixed on illuminated grills, I think, but I think a lot of people don't really like them. Kyle, you have strong feelings about this?
Yeah, my strong feeling is I actually like it.
Okay.
It looks
I mean,
terrible in photos, truly awful. But then in person, I have the video going up today, right after this, as soon as we're done with this podcast. Actually, I should start exporting it now.
Yeah.
Honestly, it looked pretty good in person.
Okay, that's good. I mean, because it's competing with the iX3, which also looks pretty good. But this is so this is like a more traditional design, though, right? It's like I feel like it's almost like a different audience for this car than the iX3. So it's got that, and it's the first Mercedes to use the MB.EA platform. It debuts
Is
in
it
the
because
GLC.
didn't the CLA use it?
It's got the same operating system, MB.OS operating system, but this is the first one, I believe, with the MB.EA. At least, wait, I better. Someone can double check me, fact check me there in the audience if MB.EA is the first. I think I may have asked the AI last night, and in a hurry, I might not have double fact checked the AI, which I usually do. But that's what it told me.
Oh, here's the problem. All of these shots of the front grille are coming in down low. Your eyes are never that low. You're standing up here. So when you look up at it from a normal human height, unless you're a midget, it must look great.
I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what target audience they're going for, which is vertically challenged people, maybe, is with that angle on the way in. But if you're of adult average, 5 foot to 6.5 foot, I think the grill looks great from up here in the sky.
Yeah, Patrick George liked it too from Inside EVs. He thought the front end looked great.
That's good. That's good then, because I mean, it's a lot when you see the illuminated version on the screen and paper. It's just like, ooh, that's like that's a lot going on there. So this is going to launch in the GLC 4MATIC trim, so dual motor, all-wheel drive, 483 horsepower, 4.4 seconds 0 to 60. I believe the iX3 is a bit slower than that, 4.9 seconds. So it takes the it's got that on its going for it at least. There's a single motor GLC 300 coming with 369 horsepower to the rear axle, 5.9 seconds 0 to 60 on that one. Let me just check. Yeah, 5.9 seconds 0 to 60 on the single, which is great for rural drive. It's got a 94 kilowatt hour pack, so smaller than the iX3, 800 volt architecture, so it can hit 330 kilowatts while it's DC charging. But the Mercedes says 10 to 80% charging takes 24 minutes. So did we talk about the iX3 charging speed? It was quicker than that, right?
Yeah, I think it's it's 400 kilowatts. It's a bigger battery by quite a bit. You're talking 94 to 108, 109 kilowatt hours. And so major difference in battery capacity between the two. And the iX3 can go 10 to 80 in like 21 or 22 minutes. So even quicker time than this, which means the average charging power is going to be another step up.
Yeah, I mean, 10 to 80 on 109 kilowatt hour pack. That's a lot of kilowatt hour. And to do that in around 20 minutes.
I just noticed because that clip popped up, that screen on the inside. Disgusting.
The
Terrible.
hyper screen?
Terrible.
Oh, right. Yeah.
It looks good from this angle. Again, they have it down low. I don't know why, but when you look at it from down low, it actually looks reasonable. When you sit up in the clouds, again, normal height stuff, then it looks really bad.
It looks like it's tacked onto the front, like onto the dash. Like, I thought it should be better integrated into the dash.
And it's got these terrible bezels everywhere as well that are truly awful. I have a photo of what this looks like from the actual human's driver's seat, if I can find it. Maybe I deleted it already. Never mind.
Oh, on Twitter, maybe?
It is on Twitter, yeah. I actually have it kind of here as well. This is a little bit lower of an angle than I would like. But you can see on my screen here just those big bezels around it.
Right, you're right.
And it just looks flat and plasticky, and it's cheap, and the vents don't feel very good. And I'm like, wow, BMW has 100 times better interior than this.
I thought we learned like in 2015 bezels were bad.
I don't know. And the software was really weird as well. I can show you. Yeah, I guess I deleted that clip. No, here it is. The software, when you go into menus, only takes up a very small portion of the screen. So when you use like Apple CarPlay and a Lucid Air, and they have all that extra space everywhere, that's what the native software looks like in this. So this is the big screen. Let me hit play for you. And this is the big screen. You can see how little of it is being taken up by the menu. It's super weird. It's like an app within a menu thing. And I'm like, how did that get through? Because honestly, I've been kind of an MBUX apologist up to this point. In the full-size hyperscreen vehicles of EQS and whatever, I actually like that. I like the
it's
software.
fun in the EQS. I like I don't mind the idea of having screens over on the passenger side or screen all across the front. Looks cool.
That works. It's just whatever software this is not optimized for this display layout.
Right. So real quick, range is given as 435 miles in WLTP, which is I think the iX3 was like 500 miles WLTP, but more like 400 miles EPA. And I don't know. I feel like this is going to be. I guess it's. I don't know. I guess it's going to be a big difference too if it's like the battery's that much. I don't think their efficiency is that different. See the iX.
Well, so they have totally different powertrain solutions. So like the iX uses the externally excited synchronous motor on the rear, which has actually brushes to electrify the rotor. And then it uses a induction secondary motor on the front axle. The Mercedes is dual permanent magnet motors with a clutch disconnect up front.
Right.
And so that is a totally different situation, and both
And
have proven
the
to
rear
be
motor,
very efficient.
on the GLC has a 2-speed gearbox on it too.
Oh, I didn't even realize that. I remember that from the CLA. I forgot. Damn, I should
Right.
have put
Yeah.
that in the
Integrated
video.
2-speed transmission in there. So the GLC gets between 240 to 302 watt hours per mile in efficiency, which doesn't sound great, right? To me, I don't know. But the iX3 gets 4.1 miles per kilowatt hour. So not only is it, a bigger battery, it's more efficient. No, it's less efficient. No, more efficient, right? 4
Well,
miles
so
per kilowatt
4
hour.
miles is
Yeah.
250 watt hour per
Yeah,
mile.
so it's right about in the same ballpark. Don.
Same ballpark.
Right. 4 miles per kilowatt. Oh, I've got apples and oranges here. That's what's
Yeah.
going
I think
on.
you're doing kilometers and
Oh
miles.
my God.
Yeah,
Yeah, I got watt
4.1 would be
hours.
right around 240 watt hour per mile, I think.
Yeah. I put this out. I put this together pretty late last night.
It's all
Apparently.
good. We'll do the real world efficiency test side by side when it's
Yeah.
time.
Yeah,
GLC will
sure.
have a 4-wheel steering though, so that's an added bonus. I feel like.
It will have 4-wheel steering and dual chamber air suspension, but of course both will be optional.
Right. Right. Optional 4-wheel steering. Right. Yeah, and that's about it. So, you have let's just pick here. I have a URL from this is your picture from that you posted on X of the interior. I don't know if I can share it
Oh
everywhere.
yeah, I showed everyone earlier the same thing basically.
Right. I have it lined up here though. So like this. I thought it was a
Yeah,
pretty good picture though.
that's
Basically.
the driver's seat view.
Yeah. No, I don't, so compare the interior of this to the BMW iX3, I kind of don't really like this. I mean, it's more of a
That was my view
traditional
as well.
kind of thing, the big blingy air vents, and I don't know, the iX3 just seems more. This feels like old man, and and the iX3 is like up and coming, like snappy dresser, thing in their 30s or something. I don't know.
There's people that have a lot of different tastes. There's people that I'm sure maybe an older crowd might resonate more towards something
Right.
like
Yeah.
this layout rather than the BMW does look. I love the BMW interior look, but it reminds me of the early i3, how I felt about when I first saw the i3 interior. But that doesn't mean that everybody likes that. So, we'll see how the test is going to be when both of these things are in the market. And we'll see how they sell because they're direct competitors for sure. And
Right.
they've taken different paths. It's not like they're the same vehicle, not at all. So it's going to be interesting to see how they both sell.
This also gets a electrochromatic roof, so you can close it in sections. I think it does some animation things, as well. With the stars, I'm not really sure. It's got standard heat pump. The regen on this should be interesting, right? The braking. Did you hear about the braking? It's got this one box system for they're calling for blending your regen brakes and the friction brakes, but the regen is up to 300 kilowatts. So they say they'll only rely on regen for like 80 to 90% of braking anyway.
Yeah, and then isn't iX3 400 kilowatt regen? And then the new Porsche Cayenne Electric 600 kilowatt regen?
Yeah.
Right. So
and
300
BMW
is a
has
pretty
the
good number,
radar
but then
integration into their
Mercedes
regen.
does too.
Yeah, it does also. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Kyle, so what do you think too about throw the Rivian R2 in the mix of these three vehicles and maybe the Model Y? Do you think iX3 or GLC even will take customers away from R2?
No, I think they're totally different. I didn't even think of that until you mentioned it as a size competitor. I think that totally different types of people going for both cars. I really think there's Mercedes people, there's BMW people. I think there will be some cross shopping happening iX3 and GLC, but in general, you're going to have a relationship with your dealer. You're going to have an existing Mercedes on lease. They're going to present this offer to you. And that's how most people are going to get this car and the iX3. You're going to stay within the family and just keep releasing your next car. That's a large percentage of sales. In terms of conquest buyers, I don't think R2 is competing directly against these, even though on paper they might. Totally different vibe, totally different emotional, I would say a semblance with your person. Like R2, more adventurous, go out. This is go shopping. Don't know. But you can see the software there. Like, don't promote that that's what your software looks like. That's terrible.
It's kind of weird. Yeah, I hear you. That is kind of odd. Some people are liking the Audi Concept C interior. Oh, actually, I think I have a picture of the 3 interiors. Oh yeah. So Li Xing, who does the China EVs and More podcast, he shared this on social media. It's just got the interiors of like the iX3, the GLC EV, and the Audi C concept all kind of together stacked there, so you can kind of see how they all compare, and they're all different takes, right? On how
I
you
think
could
the
do
Audi
this.
take is not representative of how they would do a mid-size electric SUV. I think that's meant to be a driving experience car that
True,
happens to be
true.
electric, and they just want to focus you on that. I think if you were to look at what Audi thought the next Q6 e-tron should look like, boom. By the way, can we just mention how both GLC and iX3 have demolished the Q6 e-tron, completely wiped the floor, and that car was already pretty impressive 6 months ago.
Right. Oh yeah. You think it's you can't compete with these things?
No, not even close.
But and price wise, it's more too, right?
No, I don't think it's going to be that different in the markets. I think it'll be similar.
Okay. So I guess it'll come down to maybe handling and fuel. Maybe it can bail out the Q6. I mean, that's like Macan too, right?
Yeah, Q6 and Macan. Also, why would you buy a Macan after seeing the iX3 specs? Maybe handling, but it's still not dialed in like a full Taycan driving experience. It's great. Don't get me wrong. I
Okay.
like it, but it's no, it's not a 911 replacement or a Taycan replacement.
Well, it's a brand loyalty
Right.
thing, like you spoke about. The people that have a
True.
Porsche and their lease is up and they come back and the dealer says, well, now the Macan's available in an electric version. Want to take it for a spin. That's how they're selling
Yeah.
them.
Yeah,
We have some.
EVKX says Macan has a nicer interior. I actually disagree. I thought the BMW. I mean, my mom drives a Macan with the upgraded interior. To be fair, so she has nicer
Mhm,
leather everywhere. But I
mhm.
even thought the iX3 was nicer than that.
Right. And Urban says Macan better looking, which it's subjective. So I like the Macan, but I kind of like it feels very familiar. To me, the Macan, the X3 is a new thing. I feel like, and it's I kind of like where it's going. But yeah. Oh, EVKX with he's got all the stats. He has a website with all kinds of EV stats too, right? If you do EVKX, I think it's the .com. Feel free to share that with us in the comments there, EVKX. All kinds of EV stats and whatever.
Also, no one specs Macans with 18-way seats.
And he shares that Macan has 18-way seats and BMW 10-way. But,
okay. As long as you can get comfortable, who cares how many ways it goes?
So he's saying evkx.net. If you want to check that out.
Love it. Great website. Shout out to that guy. He's awesome. We got to get together
Yeah.
with him sometime or have him on the show.
Right.
Because
Is he Norway,
real
right?
great resource. Yeah, Norwegian, I think. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, Linda's saying she has a QS or QS6. Man, I can't. Q6, and it's great all around. So that's great. Oh, and speaking of your mom's Macan, Kyle's mom must be thrilled the Macan EV can charge at Tesla superchargers, Craig says.
I'm sure she is. I haven't talked to her about it yet. I talked to her about it a lot in anticipation and a lot of
Right.
frustration. And now that it's actually live, I heard they were going to go try it out, but I haven't seen the video from their side yet.
Okay, I think it went live on Tuesday, right? Actually announced it on Friday, but it only actually became available on the 9th, I think, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, Audi and Porsche. How about the fact that Volkswagen still is scuffling and BMW still doesn't have this supercharger access either? I get so many people saying, Tom, when is BMW coming up? And look at Volkswagen just put out kind of like that one short thing that we apologize, but we're delayed again. So it's pretty crazy.
So the other car that debuted, I mean, there's a bunch of cars that, but from I don't know if we had any Chinese debuts really. I guess BYD had like a station wagon they brought over. They're talking about bringing that. It's
I
a
thought it
plug-in
was just an
hybrid.
extended range.
Yeah, it's a plug-in hybrid extended range.
Okay, look good.
Because
Saw them driving around.
yeah, and they're also bringing in like the big high power flash charging network too. They will have hundreds. They want to have a few hundred charge points, 1,000 kilowatts, megawatt charging by the end of next year in Europe.
Yeah, we got to film the station, so we checked it out, and we saw the car. We saw the dual gun charger, which will be really
Nice.
funny to experience, and I can't wait to try it out.
Yeah, is that what are they promising? Like 6-minute Phillips?
I don't remember, but it's like not that much faster than what others can do through CCS, because you
Okay.
can already do, like, my friend. I have a video coming with my friend Eva, who is the CTO of Mercedes charging, and she did 1,041 kilowatts on their AMG GTXX concept through CCS, and she's like, my whole
Yeah.
career I've wanted to do megawatt charging with CCS, and now she's done it.
Yes. Yeah, that's pretty awesome. And hey, you don't know if it's going to do that in production, like the production version of that car, will it have the battery cooling like
So
that?
yes, what she told me was it was a near identical production spec AMG drivetrain, which seems crazy if that's the case. Seems stupid.
Wow, that's
Awesome.
the future right there.
It
I
would
feel
just
like
be amazing. Yeah, absolutely.
like we talked about this AMG. I forget the name of the thing, but it's a concept of a car that's coming. Oops, I've got I don't know if you can hear that. You hear that? Okay, that's good. I've on in my ears. Okay, I turned it off. I don't even know where it's coming from. I've got a video playing. My God, it's over.
What happened? Did aliens just invade your brain? What just happened?
That is exactly what happened. So the other
Well,
car
now
that we would need to talk
your
about.
voice is in from your headphones, I think.
Oh, really?
That's
Oh
what it
no.
sounds like.
Oh no. Okay.
Well,
Yeah. When I
we
touch
can
my
hear you just fine.
okay, when I touch my headphones, it turns something on. I don't see. I can't tell what window it is. I've got a million tabs, and I guess one of them wants to play me something,
Oh, that's amazing.
but I have no idea what. Um,
Tom, we got to lighten up on the gummies in the morning.
Yeah.
right. So
Hey, you didn't deny that, Tom.
He actually
I
said,
didn't want to
yeah.
go into. Actually, I kind of feel like it because I slept in this morning. I was up late preparing the show, and I actually ended up sleeping in, and I'm not as fully awake as I usually am. So
Oh,
yeah, but
All
no
right. Well,
no
you
gummies
sound
for me.
good
I
to
don't.
me now, so maybe it was just something on my side, but you sound good. Everything's good. We're good to continue.
All right, so Polestar 5. It debuted this week as well. It's a large luxury. Let me turn this thing on. This is your video, actually, with these stills. So you can find this on Out of Spec, and right, it's a 4+1. They call it. I don't know where the +1 will sit, but there's seating for 4 people. It's a large luxury sedan. It's built on Polestar's first platform of its own making, called the Polestar Performance Architecture (PPA). They say it will only be used for sports cars and grand tours, so zero SUVs on this platform. It's designed to be lightweight with extremely high torsional rigidity, 800-volt architecture, 112 kilowatt hour battery, 106 usable NMC, and it can charge up to 350 kilowatts, going from 10 to 80 in 22 minutes. 112 kilowatt hours, 180. That's pretty much on the BMW iX3 numbers, right? Range is said to be 416 miles WLTP, and this one as far as like powertrain tricks go, uses the rear motor disconnect for increased efficiency. 748 horsepower, 599 pound-feet of torque. 0 to 60 is given. 0 to 60 is given as 3.2 seconds, Kyle and Tom. But Patrick George from Inside EVs drove it. He says he saw 2.7 seconds on wet pavement in it. So I'm not sure what's up with that.
Okay, but for the same money, you can buy a Plaid that smokes it in the straight line.
Sure. Yeah, no, and or for even more money, you could buy the Sapphire that also smokes it in a straight line. Or there's a few other things that it can take that will that outperform it for sure. But still, I mean, 2.7 seconds in the wet. So I'm thinking maybe 2.5 in the dry. That's right up there, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
You know what? Here's the thing. It was all great until I heard about the price, which is over $160,000 US. So you're spending more money than a Model S, more money than a Lucid Air, more money than an even nicely equipped Taycan to get a car that is a gamble on a brand new architecture from a small company, because this was developed in Sweden, not really with the Chinese Geely group.
Right.
And the thing is, what this car will excel at is what they claim to be, chassis, ride, and handling. So amazing suspension, amazing steering, brake feel should be good. The way the vehicle goes down the road, the intangibles, as I like to say, the stuff that you can't just compete on paper with others. That's great. There's a total market for that. But then I look a little bit deeper and I go, there's no limited slip differential on the rear axle, and there's no way to fully disable traction control. So if you're going to make a driver's car, you went like 7/10 and give us the last few that for a premium price justifies settings to make it really a driver's car. Now, I'm a Polestar owner, and in my car, I also paid a premium price with very bespoke suspension and a dialed in chassis, and I can't turn off traction control in that car. And every time I take it around the track, which there are people who track them, I get a little bit of rotation on the car, then grabs the brakes and it shuts down the fun. That's not a performance characteristic.
Right. I hear you. That's kind of a miss. I feel like it's, you can't, I hate this. I love the Polestar brand and I love what they do, but yeah, you can't, you have to have a mode that, loosens up the back end and it takes away those things. Performance car.
Absolutely. I spoke to my buddy Christian quite a bit, who's responsible for chassis development on this car. And, he's a real enthusiast. He's like, look, I pushed for everything you're asking for. I'm like, I'm sure you did. And he's like, it's so good. Just drive it before you start complaining about it. I'm like, that's fair.
Yeah.
Let's go drive it. Let's go see what it's about. Charging should be great. Range should be great. The overall seating position was good. Sound system should be amazing. Honestly, if these heavily depreciate, I could actually see myself going for one. I could not see myself spending 160 grand. I could see myself spending 50 to 70,000 on something like this. And I originally thought it was going to be 90 to 110 when it launched, but the fact that it's 50% more than expectation is just, they are pricing themselves in the stratosphere for a brand that's already struggling. They spent so much money on a bespoke architecture for a car that clearly is not going to be a high volume seller. I just can't figure out what the point of Polestar is anymore.
Right. Well, a lot of people are pointing to design, which, it's a lovely design. It's great. I love that cam back. You can't fault them on the design. They nailed that, but it's not. It's still very much in a class, right? Large sedan that you don't sell that many of anymore. And 120, 119, and 900 euros. And is it even going to come to the US? So that's the other elephant in the room, right? So this is made in China.
It will. It sounds like
Eventually?
it will come to the US.
Okay.
And not at launch, but later on is the vibe.
Okay. Are they going to try to sell it for $200,000?
I mean, they haven't announced pricing. I don't know, but they'd be out of their mind.
Right. I mean, it's supposed to be a halo car. It's not like a volume vehicle, of course. But
then they really should have made it a halo car. If they're going halo car, do immersion cooling. Let's do 800 kilowatt charging. Let's do, chassis stuff that actually lets you slide it around. The fact that you can buy a Lucid Air Pure that gets, probably that is definitely amazing driving dynamics, and you can turn off traction control. for an enthusiast, that's instantly where we're all going to go over this.
Right. And if you're into design in Europe, you'll be able to get the Xpeng P7, which
Looks amazing.
in this category, exterior at least, looks amazing. Yeah, like you say. Okay. Have we beat up on the Volvo enough yet, or the Polestar?
I think so.
I mean, it's a cool car. Like I said, I really want one, but I don't want one at the price they're asking.
Yeah.
Everything
You want
could
one
be
at 70,000.
I want one at 40,000 if we can choose. But yeah, I'd go for a new one at 70. Absolutely.
Right. Okay, so that's all the big cars. Am I missing any of like the big debuts? So there was also this, I guess. It's not really, it's a concept though. But yeah, the Hyundai Concept 3 is our first glimpse at the upcoming Ionic 3 EV. So we can look at this and kind of see where Hyundai is going to go with for the Ionic 3. It looks like an electric Velociter. Is that how you say that? Velociter?
No, just Veloster.
Veloster. That's right. Right. Or kind of like from the back angle, I get Mazda RX-7 vibes. But
Really?
anyway, yeah.
Mazda RX-7?
A little bit, yeah. From back here, I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe it's just me.
It's pretty far away from production looking.
Yeah. This is not. I mean, it just gives you an idea of where they're headed with this, but it's not that far from coming here. I don't really have any notes on it, but yeah, I just want to share that, and just if you had any thoughts, real quick, we'd share those, but we can move along. This other big. This was kind of an important, and you had some good coverage of this as well. This is what Volkswagen's more normal, likable EV future looks like. So this is the ID Cross concept they showed, and that's going to morph into I think they're going to call it the ID T Cross, which is not a vehicle that sells here in the US or that will sell here in the US. And they also, but it does kind of show the design language that they're going. So the ID4 gets this huge refresh next year. And I think we can expect to see some of this kind of styling language on the ID4 next year. It kind of looks like kind of Toyota-ish to me. I don't know. But what do you think, guys?
Yep. Spent some time with Andreas Mint, who's head of design at Volkswagen, talking about this one. He said it will look pretty much like this when it goes into production. And I think it's good. It's nice.
Yeah. Sweet. And yeah, and you have a video on the Polo, because they're making the Polo GTI, which is like a small, compact, but a little spicy, I guess.
Yeah,
good?
I mean, it's going to be 220 or 230 horsepower. Can't remember, but it'll be fun and small. And we need small, inexpensive electric cars. But the base Polo, I think, is going to outsell everything. That's going to be great. Really looking forward to seeing, what Volkswagen has coming. Basically, their software architecture starts in ID Everyone, and that's where my interest goes way through the roof. And so I don't think they basically have 4 cars launching by 2027 that are the cheap and affordable class, and it's ID Everyone, ID Polo GTI, and ID Cross, and all of them were at this event we were at, and those are going to be the volume models for Europe. I don't know if we're going to get any of them in the US. My guess is no.
Right. Will we get this in the US? You also stopped and took a picture of the Kia EV2, which you liked except for the back, which I don't even know what's going on back there, but it's turned out.
It looks like it melted.
Yeah. It was all great. It's all fun and games until you get to this. What the heck, man? It's like a big. It looks like someone took an early lunch. He's like walked away before they were done.
Yeah,
Reminds me of the back of a Think City.
Yeah, yes, it really does.
So yeah, you did see on your X feed, and you share some on Threads as well. Different vehicles you saw that I don't know if you have videos coming up on with those cars. Do you?
Which ones?
The Kia EV2, or possibly you also saw the Kia EV5 in person?
Yeah, I wanted to film that, but I didn't get the chance. I did film the Kia PV5, That's coming.
Oh,
And that's the van. That was really cool.
okay. This EV5, really quick, while I have it on the screen, though, this is coming to the US or not?
Don't know. I think yes.
Right. Yeah, I was kind of back and forth on this. I was, for some reason, I was thinking it was like a China only thing, but also was thinking that maybe that had changed. I do want to share about the PV5 because you saw that, and so you have a video coming up with the PV5.
Yeah, I believe. William and I shot a bunch of videos together. Basically, in between the big shoots, we were like, let's just go find cool cars and film them. And it's nothing super technical, but we had a great time with this thing, and we both absolutely loved it. We thought there was clever storage everywhere. It was the first Kia we have seen with their new software operating system, very Tesla-like in the layout, which I think is a great thing. And so, yeah, really, really nice.
Cool. But again, is that I don't think that's coming to the States, right?
Yeah, I don't think so.
And yeah, more space, man. And compare that to the ID Buzz, though. You know, it looks like it's got a good amount of room, and like it's a similar kind of shape, very
Yeah.
space efficient kind of thing, right?
ID Buzz, I think, is bigger, but also more expensive.
Right. Yeah, this looks pretty cool. I like that. You also saw the spicy Inster. That's on your thing. We don't need to share that. And you saw the X7 in person, the new X7, Xpeng, Xpeng
P7.
So, P7, right?
Yeah.
So I'll just bring that up real quick so people can.
Which looks awesome.
Looks so good.
This thing looks so good.
The only sad part about this is it's based on the P7 Plus almost entirely. So the P7 Plus, which really should be called the P7 Minus, is the base one. And then the P7 is the sporty sedan built on the same platform. And you can get dual motor in this, which is nice. The P7 Plus is rear drive only.
Right. But yeah, it's just a really good looking car, and we haven't driven this. None of us have driven this thing at all. I don't know if you've heard anything about how it is.
Well, I drove the P7 Plus a lot,
Okay.
and this should drive almost the same from what I hear.
Okay.
Maybe a bit sportier, but it's the same chassis. I talked to the head of engineering at Xpeng. I did an interview with him. It'll go up at some point. It's basically the same car, slight changes to the chassis settings, but it won't be ground shattering. So it's going to drive comfortably.
Okay, and finally, I mean so that's pretty much the auto show. I thought it was a really great show this year. Like the best auto show I think we've had in some time. It's almost like a throwback to
I would agree.
Yeah. Let's see. So this is the other highlight from your trip. You drove the Lucid Air Sapphire. Tell us about this thing.
Yeah, it's a monster. That's all you need to know. Just a beast. So cool.
Hey, maybe tell us about this little parking situation, because you're parked in this parking lot in Europe, but you're parked. See if I can find what the little clip where you show what you're parked with. Right, you got the Xiaomi
and a Renault R5.
R5. Look at that.
Yeah, this was William's car. This is what he was driving. So we have a whole video coming with that yellow one on the channel.
Oh, sweet.
Yep. So actually, we got out of the Sapphire doing top speed and into the real top speed machine, the R5, and took it out on the Autobahn.
Okay. And you get the Xiaomi SU7 there? SU7?
Yeah, just some random dude just pulled up in it.
Just happened to be there. You got 3 different continents at one charging station. It's pretty cool.
Absolutely. Yeah, but the Sapphire is just crazy. The stability at high speed's amazing. The performance is amazing. You can't fault that car. I mean, that is a halo piece for electric cars. And, I'd made a lot of comparisons to my time driving Turbo GT flat out on the Autobahn as well. Then with this one, really great to have the experience, in both of those cars at top speed. And 204 miles an hour, 330 kph, just under 327, 326.
Right.
Monster.
And before you made the big run, you took it for like a quick nip at nighttime. But this is in kilometers an hour, so 250 kilometers an hour. I'm not sure what that works out into freedom units, but
we took it up to about 175 miles an hour in this night clip, and it felt so smooth. I'm like, this can't be real.
Right, because that's scary fast. Like I can't even imagine. So let me see if I can find your clip
But
when
in
you're
the
actually
Lucid, it feels like
driving.
you're walking. You're just cruising. It's amazing. If you go to the very beginning of the video, we show it in the second clip.
Yeah, I think
So
I've.
that would be
I
like the
think I've.
first few seconds. But yeah, you can
Right.
find it around here. I put it in miles an hour just because I thought most Lucid owners would. The goal was to hit 200 miles an hour. Not that it was an actual goal, but that was my goal. And
Right.
so I put it in miles an hour. And then later in the video, it's back in kilometers. But we had already hit thermal limits at that point.
Oh, that's the other thing I was going to mention. Oh, oops, just before this, um, the thermal situation.
Yeah, thermal
Not as
situation's honestly better than I thought. I
okay.
thought it was going to be really bad, but it wasn't. And the problem with the Autobahn and EV thermals is if you're really trying to go fast, you have to wait for a lot of opportunities. So you need to make sure there's enough room ahead, and then someone pulls out, and then you're got to start over, and then you're down on state of charge and up in temperature. And so we actually drove the car for the most part in the very basic drive profile, which limits the power. And in between the runs up to speed, we would keep it in track mode endurance to cool the battery. So by doing in that strategy, we actually got a ton of time with a lot of performance in the car. And what's crazy is we still ran this thing all the way up to 204 miles an hour, then whacked it at full throttle in full power Sapphire mode, and then went full launch mode onto the highway, and it gave power the whole time. So I think for any normal user, it's acceptable unless you're doing hardcore track days with it, which then maybe the thermals become more of an issue. From my impression, the motors had no issues at all. The motors stayed cold. It was all battery pack thermals.
Okay. So yeah, that's really the challenge with performance EVs, keeping that battery cool. So that's why the Mercedes Benz concept, which you say is coming in production form, is going to be, or it's an AMG, I guess, right? It's not even a Mercedes.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting one with the immersion cooling. You probably go way down on energy density, way up on weight, and way up in cost. So I wonder if you
Yeah.
just used a
Mhm.
really nice power cell, if you could get around the immersion cooling need. And I guess, that would be an interesting conversation to have with some cell experts one day.
Right, because it drove that thing for days on end, right? 17 different drivers, I believe, driving that thing at 180 miles an hour or something. And
I don't
just
know the speed. I thought it was less than that, but yes, moving.
high, it was, yeah, I can't remember the exact speed. It was a lot. And then charging it at 800 kilowatts. It was a lot of kilowatts going into that thing every time.
Yeah, between 8 and 900 every stop. And
Right.
that
So
wasn't even the max charging performance of the car. The car can do a megawatt.
it's just mind-boggling. So that's the performance we want, right? And all of the stuff. But there's penalties to pay, like you say. It could be added weight, added cost. And so that's what what automakers are struggling with, getting that the balance that they want for each individual car has different use cases and everything. So that's why not every battery can be run at top speed forever without derating, basically.
Yeah, you always have to make that trade off between an energy cell and a power cell. And Lucid is, they're using, I think, pretty much the standard battery pack out of their long range cars. So it's very much an energy dense cell and not so much a power cell. So my guess is the battery in this thing is right up at the limit of what it can do. And they could probably drop a few kilowatt hours. Like, let's say they took 10, 15 kilowatt hours out of this car, added thermal, added some energy density as well. Should be good. I should also note that I'm pretty sure the model year 26 Sapphire got a little bit juicier air compressor as well. That would help. And I'm pretty sure we were in a 25. I think it's minor details, but in general, the thermals I was impressed with. It lasted way longer at high speed than I expected. And I was expecting to get it out there, get one run, it overheat, and then I'd be like, oh, well, you got to buy a Porsche because it's Germany. But no, this is the Autobahn machine to have. The stability and the speed and the comfort is better than Taycan. It's amazing.
So,
Yeah, I
since you're
mean,
comparing it to Taycan, do you think a Sapphire could beat the Taycan in your Cannonball run?
No, it doesn't have the charging performance.
mm, mm. But that AMG though.
The AMG can beat everything. Yeah, that's crazy. The AMG
Yeah.
GTXX is dream daily driver. That car is amazing.
Yeah, so we could see in your video there that you're going 200 miles an hour. William's sitting beside you, one hand holding the camera. It's not crazy. He's feeling pretty safe and comfortable. You know,
You'll also notice it's through a corner. Like we're not
right,
straight.
right.
It's on a corner, and the car is dead stable.
That's just wild. All right, hey, before we go, Tom made this really great video. So he had a Cadillac Escalade IQ for a little while, and you did made a video called "Are or General Motors electric vehicles too heavy for some public roads?" So I believe these things are so heavy that they're over the weight limit for some bridges, like in your area. So you did a deep dive on whether it's safe to drive them in your area, and made this video. So what did you learn about this, Tom?
Yeah, so what prodded me on even talking about this, and I think I talked about it on the podcast months ago when I had the Escalade, was the fact that so many of the roads around my house have signs that say weight limit 4 tons. And these are all the small roads off the main arteries. It's almost hard to get to my house without going on one of the roads that say weight limit 4 tons. The Escalade IQ weighs like 9,300 pounds. And so does the Hummer EV, the Silverado EV and the Denali with the large battery pack. It's the vehicles that have the 24 module double stacked GM battery packs. They all weigh over 9,000 pounds. So you're over 1,000 pounds over the weight limit on a lot of these roads. So I was wondering, am I just breaking the law, just driving this thing to my house? Could I get a ticket? Now I know the police officers probably don't realize the weight of the vehicle, and they're not going to pull you over. But technically, am I technically breaking the law? So I reached out to my local police department, and I got in touch with the corporal that's in charge of the traffic division, because it would be his call on whether it's. And I stumped him. He was like, "That's a great question. I don't know, but let me reach out to the township engineer." So he spoke to the township engineer, who looked up all the municipal codes on weight limits on the roads and everything. And they basically said it's not clearly defined as it should be in our municipal code, because it was the spirit of the law was for commercial traffic. But
Right.
the signs literally say 4 tons weight limits. So basically the corporal said, look, nobody's going to get pulled over. You're not going to get any tickets. But this is something that we kind of need to maybe revisit the municipal code to decide if it's supposed to only pertain to commercial vehicles. But for now, he said, no issues. You're not going to get any tickets. You're not breaking the law, driving it around. It's meant for commercial truck routes. And the 4-ton weight limit was kind of arbitrary, I guess, that they selected because they know any large commercial truck's going to be more than that. And at the time, there's no personal vehicles that weigh more than 4 tons. I mean, you could make an argument for like F-350s,
Right.
Some of the really large pickup trucks, the dualies, might just crest that 4-ton weight limit. They're usually between 6,000 pounds and 8,000 pounds. But here you have, a family soccer mom SUV that weighs more than 1,000 pounds over the weight limit. And basically, like I said, they're saying nobody's getting a ticket. But they're going to look into it because there could be some culverts and small bridges that perhaps were not designed for the constant driving of vehicles with such weight over them. But I just thought I had to at least bring this to light, because I can't be the only person that, was driving one of these GM vehicles that weighs 9,000 pounds that looked at a sign that said weight limit 4 tons and saying, am I allowed to drive on this road?
Yeah.
So I don't think we've heard the last of it yet.
Tom, in your town, let's just be clear. You know a guy who knows a guy. No one's giving Tom Bologna a ticket.
It's funny. I do know a lot of the police officers. It's a small town. But I did get pulled over, Kyle, since you mentioned this recently, when Lucid gave me the Air to do range testing, because they said that the license plate was coming up as like a fake license plate, like their manufacturer plate. It wasn't registered anywhere. And they're like, we could tow the vehicle. And I'm like, don't do that. I'm a mile from my house, and it's like a manufacturer's plate. Like, how could I fake that? This must be some sort of a clerical issue or whatever. but he was a new officer that just came on, and I didn't get a chance to meet him yet. But he let me go. But I thought that was interesting. But yeah, I certainly wasn't worried about getting a ticket. I know it's a small town. I know most of the officers, but I wanted to just bring this to light because I think it's something that if we continue down this road of these huge battery packs that weigh a lot, and I don't think we are, I think it's going to kind of go the other way, but we'll see. I think the municipal codes need to be re-examined and decided,
Sure.
Does this pertain to only commercial vehicles? Because now that the engineer looked it up, there was conflicting sections in the code. One section seemed that it pertained only to commercial vehicles, but then the other section clearly states no vehicles over 4 tons are allowed on these 15 roads or whatever in our town. So there was a conflict there. And they erred on the side of saying, look, this wasn't the spirit of the code. This was, we're not meant to restrict our residents from driving their personal vehicles around. It was meant so that we don't have these large trucks traversing through residential areas.
Right. And then speaking about the damage that heavy vehicles can do to roads, you included this statement at the end of your video that we had it from a reader. Was this for maybe a Battery Bargains episode or something? But
no,
we had
I don't think it was. Was it?
Okay,
but
I can't remember.
yeah. So
we had a
this was
road
interesting.
engineer send us. We had a road engineer send us, this letter that you see on the screen now, and it's in your video.
Yeah.
He says he's a licensed professional civil engineer who holds a PhD, nearly 40 years of professional experience, and specializes in pavement and materials engineering. Prior to my retirement in 2014, I was the state pavement design engineer for a state Department of Transportation for over a decade. Anyway, he's got some serious experience there, and says that wow, looking for the thing. Anyway, basically saying, right,
It's insignificant. Basically, what he said was the extra weight that EVs have are basically insignificant, so insignificant that road designers won't even consider that when they consider designing the roads. They're really focusing on the trucks, the vehicles that weigh 40,000, 50,000, 60,000 pounds. Those are the things that have tremendous amount of wear on the roadways. Now, it might be a little different when you're talking about small bridges in rural areas, like up in Vermont. I drive over these old covered bridges all the time. That might be a little bit different, but he was designing roadways and highways and said, basically, I know we talk about, it's 2,000 or 3,000 pounds heavier than a comparable ICE vehicle, this electric truck or whatever. And he kind of scoffed at the notion that would make any difference on the highways. He said, this isn't, it makes no difference whatsoever, wear and tear. And he said, this is all I did for 40 years was design roads. And, we focused on how many lanes the passenger vehicles needed. We wouldn't even consider the weight. The weight is all on the heavy trucks. The heavy trucks do, 90+% of the damage and the wear and tear to the roadways. And when I mean heavy, not 8 tons, not 10 tons,
40, 50
30 tons, and the really heavy big trucks. They're the ones that really wear the roadways out.
Right on. All right, so it's just about our time. Cicero Holmes says, no battery talk this week. Some new battery breakthroughs debuted this week, which is a good point. I almost feel like it's worth a midweek episode or something just to talk about them, because like Rimac brought out a new solid-state battery at the IAA show, which is basically not completely theirs. I'm looking for the thing here. Right, it was developed by Prologium, but it integrates a housing solution from Mitsubishi Chemical Group, and it comes in 46 XX series, so 4680s or 4695s or 120s, whatever height they want to put, or 2170 cell formats. And it's developed for cell to pack architecture, so you get some savings in gravimetric density at the pack level as well when you do it that way. So there's that. And then there was I believe you saw this car too there, right? The EQS, Mercedes-Benz had an EQS recently, right? They did 749 miles on a solid state battery. And from Stuttgart to Malmo in Sweden without a single charging stop, and then they had 85 miles still left of range remaining when they got there. That's in the Vision EQXX that we were talking about earlier. So that's pretty well. That battery, I believe, is from Factorial. Is that? Are you either of you familiar with that story? I'm just looking at it right here on what's it, Green Car Congress. Anyway, right. So there was that in the news, and also QuantumScape. They showed off their a solid state battery, which we've had QuantumScape on the show for a midweek episode. If you ever want to look at that episode, it's a good one. Gets right into the mechanics of how their solid state technology works, and it's really kind of interesting. So, but yeah, so they've stuck that in a motorcycle in a Ducati. Basically, it's the oh, it's not on the screen. You can't see that. I can share that with you. It's just a kind of a small picture of it here on this site. Again, looking at Green Car Congress, which is a really great, actually, EV website, or a green car. Oops. Oh man, had the disco music going again. I cannot touch my earpiece.
Let's just go.
Yeah. So anyway,
Yeah.
There's a bunch of stuff going on with solid state batteries this week. Pretty interesting stuff, but nothing.
Oh, one battery topic I should mention really quick. I sat in a bunch of presentations with CATL about Xinxing Pro, which is their new 12C charging LFP. I have a whole video coming with their engineers on that one.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, we saw that. 2 different kinds of batteries, right?
Yeah, they have like a durable, long life one that still charges like a monster, or one that's like a performance-y LFP that can charge like crazy and still last a while. So I was like, oh, let's go with the big boy.
Right. Yeah, that'll be good because there's some interesting information about those batteries, just in what they consider lifetime, of a battery. Anyway, that brings us to the end of this show, though. So if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below or get in touch with us on the social media platform of your choice. Don't forget, if you like the show, please leave us a thumbs up. Thank you all very much for joining us. It's been great hanging out with you all once again. Thanks, Kyle, for joining us. And Martin should be back with us next week. So, yeah, have a good one. We'll see you all in the next time.
Bye-bye.
Ciao.